Hey folks, so the last time you saw me, we were launching the Original Leadership community and brand, and I am excited to report that it was successful. We now have channels set up through which we can produce the content that will invite people to participate in this community, through which we expect so much value can be created. But I recognize I was a little bit vague on what we're doing through this brand and community and what we're hoping to accomplish. And so I wanted to take just a moment to explain to you first the philosophy of Original Leadership, and secondly, where we're at as an organization and where we're headed. And so just to start with the philosophy, there's three core things to the philosophy of Original Leadership. First, we believe that before you can lead anyone else, you've got to first learn to lead yourself. And I know that might sound a little bit strange, but we actually believe that you operate like a team in your own self, and you've got kind of different parts to yourself that you have to lead as a coherent team that sticks together and moves together in the same direction. You've got your mind that wants things to make sense. You've got your heart that wants things to feel good and not feel bad emotionally, and your body that wants to feel good and not feel bad physically. And we even believe that the spirit is there, that it's something that just wants what actually is. It wants what's true, right? And so all those parts have differing perspectives and desires, and they actually can have conflict. So we believe that it's critical to learn to get this team working well first before you can then turn around and lead others. And the cool thing about leading others is that all you're doing is you're equipping, mentoring, and training others to lead themselves. So it's such a cool model that is so empowering to others. It's empowering to yourself. And we've experienced the value ourselves. We've seen those around us experience it as we train them in it. And this is why we're so excited about this community, because we can multiply that value into others, including you. The second piece of Original Leadership is we believe there's this unique expression of leadership that only you can offer this world. And that's why we say, lead like only you can lead. You're the only one that can lead like you. There's not this emphasis on copying what other people look like. We've culturally gotten into this model where we want to look like the type A leader, alpha dog, like look like them, be like them, talk like them, and it's just a bunch of copying that's going on. And so we end up feeling like we need to change who we are in order to become like them. And the closest we come to agreeing with that is just to say, hey, there's good examples that you can imitate, but never copy, because you're the only one that can lead like you. So that's core to the Original Leadership philosophy. And then finally, we believe that there is a true version of leadership. There's a true north when it comes to leadership. It's not something that we just kind of make up and fabricate. It's not just whatever's functional or works, but actually, just like with anything, we believe you have to go back to where things came from to know who they are and why they are and what they are actually supposed to look like. And for me, just so you know, I'm a Christian. So I believe that this is my reference point. I go and I want to learn how does God express leadership? And I believe it's the perfect expression of leadership. And I know that's going to freak people out when they hear that I'm a Christian, whatever else, but I want to be clear about something. This is the way that I've learned it, and I've grown into this understanding. And a lot, I would say the most of what I'll be expressing here and training people in is learned from that worldview, right? But I'm not going to push that on you. That's not my objective with this. I want people to lead well and experience the value of the journey that I've been on and other people around me have been on. And so that's what we're after with this. So I want everyone to feel safe on this journey as we go through this together. But it's a true part of me that I also won't betray myself in the reality that that's where I've come to these conclusions from. So I hope you're cool with me being true to that reality at the same time as I'm going to make a real effort to make sure that I'm not ever imposing that or trying to demand that of anybody else. So we cool with that? That's cool. All right. So let's talk about the organization. That's like the core philosophy of Original Leadership. It's the self-leadership component. There's only one expression of leadership. There's a unique expression that only you can offer the world. And finally, that there is a true north to leadership. And we're seeking to discover that better, understand it better, and then reflect it and live it. Okay? So that's Original Leadership on the philosophy side. On the organization side, so it's really important for you to know that I do not want this to become a brand and a community that's pivoting on this guy. I do not want to be your guru. I don't want to be the dude you're following and wanting to look like. That's not me, okay? I'm just wanting to facilitate and empower others to become that unique expression that only they can be, right? And I want to collect other good examples of leadership. I can offer something. I can offer lessons I've learned. I can share with you from my own journey what I've learned. and then I can help facilitate this whole community, right? That's great. I love playing that part. But I'm not your guru. I don't want to be your guru. And I don't want to pull anybody else in to be your guru either. I want you to be the leader that you can uniquely be. And part of that is just recognizing that we cannot scale this if we operate like that. Because I can only do this, I can only do that for so many people. I don't want to do that, right? We call it seed-based multiplication. Our strategy is if we can pour this into other vessels that then carry it and train other people into it, kind of like a tree that's in the middle of nowhere. It grows its leaves and it drops its acorns, and those acorns then become new trees, and those trees produce more acorns that drop. And in the end, one tree can produce a whole forest, right? We want to produce a forest by just being our one tree, and the only way we can do that is by, a seed is a beautiful thing that it contains all of the DNA to produce a whole tree, right? And so what we want to do is we want to capture that DNA. We want to develop that DNA. We want to protect that DNA and communicate it effectively into others, kind of like planting those seeds in others so that they can become trees that then reproduce in like kind and pour into others. And we can produce a forest. And what does producing a forest look like through what we're doing here? It looks like changing the world and making it a much better place with people leading according to what we see as true leadership. We see so many examples of counterfeit leadership out there, and we want to bring the fight against that by raising up leaders according to this version, what we believe is a truer version of leadership. And we're going to continue to pursue that understanding of what does it look like to be a true leader. And as we gain new knowledge and new understanding, we're going to share that with the rest of the forest, right? But that means that since we're not going to be asking you, hey, take one of our consultants and we'll drop into your organization and we're going to whip you all into shape, we're not going to do that, right? We're going to be pouring into you so you can pour into others. We want you to get together with your peers. So that when we have like these reformatted, maybe you call them mastermind groups, but it's a reformatted version of that. That's high velocity and really get a lot of value out of it. But that's for your peers. Or you can also engage in another format where you're a facilitator of bringing others into this content, kind of as a leader of others, where you're using the content. We facilitate that with systems, with processes, and with the content as well to make it much easier for you to invite other people into this philosophy and into this way of leading and really helping people lead themselves and be the best leaders, the unique expression of leadership that only they can be. And those are different ways that you engage. But here's the key thing. That means that if we're going to approach it like that, we as a single tree will not be the ones that grow the forest. We can't produce it. We're dependent on people like you to engage with us and become part of our community and become propagators of this idea, of this way of leading, and reproduce with us so we can grow the forest together. We are fully 100% dependent on people like you to help us do this. So if you are interested in engaging as a facilitator of a group like that, or if you want to become part of a peer group and you want to kind of organize that, please get in touch with us. We're still in some way making this up as we go. We're developing this and growing this and following our noses to value and connecting with people and bringing this together. But we need to know, we need those hands raised out there that we can start pulling people in and build this community through those two formats. And we'll have meetups, community meetups and whatever else, nationally and regionally and whatever else. But the most important thing that we can do is to band together with others that are wanting to organize these groups in order to multiply this. And that's when leadership happens in the everyday things, right? That's when you lead in your home, in your work, in your vocation, in your organization, in your bedroom all by yourself. It can be happening all the time, but we need these small groups to come together so that the training is happening in those spaces, right? In those moments. And it's through relationship that training is happening, which we believe is essential for enduring change to happen most effectively and most efficiently. So this is the only way that we see that we can help start a good virus, that infects the world with its goodness, is by reproducing through others, and then they reproduce through others, and then those people reproduce into others, and it keeps going like that good virus that expands and changes the world. And we need you to do that.